Okay, all you cool cats and kittens out there, scroll up in the chat. There's a Dropbox link. If you don't have this from what we did last week, you can go ahead and download it and open her up. Okay. So last week we went through, made a basic circle light box with editable text on the inside. As you can see, very easy to edit the text. We have the editable text sketch, just in case you download it with Nicor and all them other names on it. I'll show you quickly how to edit the text while maybe others are downloading the file. Open that up in Fusion 360. All you got to do is come to the editable text, whatever your text sketch is on, right click, edit sketch, double click on the text. Put whatever you want in it. Change the font. Change the size. Make it fit. Center align it, left align it, whatever is relevant. When you're done with it, finish sketch. It'll go through the motions on the timeline, and there you have it. Let's see here. Kapuya. All right. Well, let's get going on the stand. First things first. Let's hide the back plate. We don't need the back plate for this, but it will get in the way. That's why I'm hiding it. So just turn off the little eyeball on the back plate. Okay, so there's a billion different ways you can make stands for these. For example, I'll show you a few. My favorite, one of my favorites is the Corvette light box. As you all know, I made a couple of different stands for it. This one fits on like so. Get it centered up. Yep. That one's pretty cool. And another variation. Obviously the cord doesn't go on the front, but you get the picture. Simply, you don't have to have it wrap around your light box. You can just make a platform for it to sit on, like so. So as long as you have something for it to sit on and that the cable is lined up with the cable hole that you put in the stand, you'll be good to go. Otherwise, not going to go on, not going to sit on the stand if the cable is interfering with the hole, or if you don't have a hole in the stand. Okay, so let's get started on making a stand. Should have had plenty of time to open up that Fusion file by now. So first things first, we're going to need a new sketch. We're going to click on the very front of that frame. Click on the front. You can see right here. Click, and then you're going to go create sketch. Click create sketch. That will make a sketch on the face, the plane of that face. Okay, show your screen. Nice. Lovely. Well, let me delete that sketch. Okay. Get the front. Click your outer edge. Click it, click it. It'll turn blue. Click create sketch. Boom. Puts a sketch on the front of that face. As you can see here, nice and lovely right on the front. If you click create sketch and click something wrong, my cats are knocking at the door. I knew this would happen. 1 second. They see a door closed, they refuse to be locked in or out of anything. So you have a sketch on the front face of this. Now what you need to do, oops, hit the wrong button. Now what you need to do is have these lines on that sketch. Click P for project. We're going to project these lines. Click it. Make sure that projection link is on. The reason why you want projection link on is because if you go back in time and edit anything, it will follow whatever you edit. So click OK. And now you have a purple line all the way around your circle. You can use this purple line to draw from. So now we're going to find the center, which should be the dot right here. So that's going to be the center. So if you want to align anything in Fusion, all you got to do is touch it, and then see now it's getting all the snapping features, and now we can line it up. So if we wanted to line it up with the bottom of this C, see now I touched it, it's gonna snap to it. So now I can zoom out, touch that dot, come straight down, and now you can see that's where I can snap straight in the center. We're going to click the bottom, and now you have a drawing point. We're going to come out, let's just say 5 millimeters. Let's do this a little easier way. That was a practice line. Practice line. Okay, we're going to do this different. We're going to do it easier. Let's just go straight offset. We're going to click O for offset. If you don't know how to delete that line, just hit escape, escape, escape. Click the line, click delete, and you're done. Hit O for offset. Click the outer line. Now we're going to go 5 millimeters. This will create a 5 millimeter offset circle all the way around it. Click enter. Got the practice line down, good to go. Lovely. Now we can hit L for line. Remember, line it back up. You can snap it back to that middle. Come down to the bottom of your 5 millimeter offset circle. Click. Now you have your line. We're going to come over. You see it also snaps like every 90 degrees. So let it snap at 0 degrees. Let's go 62.5 millimeters. So now you have a perfectly flat 62.5 millimeter line. From that line, we're going to click another line. So hit L again. And that's the shortcut for line, straight line. Click on the end. See how it's snapping at 90 degrees? Come straight up. See, as soon as you touch the circle, it's not snapping anymore. So what you can do, come past the circle and it'll snap again. So click. It's a little bit too far, but that doesn't matter. We're not worried about what's above this circle. We're also not going to be worried about this line here in a minute. So it's just a temporary fix. So now you can see we have this bottom of the curve is going to start to become our stand. Now we can click L again, and we're going to grab it from right here at this intersection. Come straight across, let it snap. You can see that it's up here in the top right here. It shows 180 degrees. Make sure it's flat. Come all the way across. Doesn't matter where you click, somewhere on the outside. Now you know from this flat line, you can click L again. And this is going to be a dead perfect, lined up with the top of this side. You can come, rotate it 90 degrees, bring it down. But we only need it to come down to this bottom arc because our stand is only going to be 5 millimeters thick. So we'll snap it right there. And we no longer need this horizontal line. That was just for alignment purposes. So we can click this horizontal line, hit delete, and now you can see this filled in area. If you don't have this solid sealed in area right here, you need to make sure that your line goes all the way across. Okay, so now we are good there. So one thing also that we will need for this is the offset, the tolerance value for the 3D print. Because this is not going to be a perfect 0.0 millimeter tolerance. We're going to need a tiny, tiny tolerance in between the body and the stand. So we're going to click this outer line right here and click O for offset. And we're going to go 0.1 millimeters. This is just going to offset it just enough to where your print is going to fit very, very well in the stand. I've used 0.1 tolerance for all of my stands. It fits very, very well. Okay. So what that's going to do is now you only have now 4.9 millimeters, but that doesn't make a difference. Okay. So now we have the top half of our stand. Now what we can do, come in here and then click T for trim. Click the letter T on your keyboard. That's a shortcut for trim because we no longer need this little piece of the line and we no longer need this extra piece of the line. Getting messages. Okay. We no longer need this extra part of the line, and we also no longer need this. All I'm doing is clicking. Make sure if you accidentally hit escape or something, just hit T again for trim, and you can just keep trimming off the edges. Okay. Now after you're done trimming everything, hit escape. Make sure you're still sealed up. Everything looks good. From here, we can double click, and that's going to highlight the entire stand that we have made so far. And we're going to utilize this horizontal line, which we know is at the very bottom of this arc. So we're going to come up here into create, and we're going to go mirror. Point 2 if you're using Ender. Maybe more like one. Well, there's been quite a few people printing these, I think, with the Enders, so I think 0.1 will be fine for most. I think maybe Ender's tolerances that I was using whenever I needed a good tight tolerance was 0.18 for something on my Enders back in the day, which is, but anywho, we're going to double click your stand line, click create, come down to mirror. We're going to mirror it. Since you already have your 4 lines selected, all we have to do is pick the mirror line now. So we'll click mirror, click the line that you want to mirror from. So we're going to want to mirror from this horizontal line, and you can see it flips it right over the line. Now, if you already hit OK, you probably have a ton of stuff pop up on your screen, and I'm going to show you how to fix that. So if we hit OK right now, boom, you see all these extra constraints. This is holding everything in place exactly where it is. We don't need that. So what we can do now, click that horizontal line that you mirrored from and click delete, and all that goes away. Now nothing is constrained. Everything's free to move around. Okay. So if we're 3D printing this, that tiny little area right here is not going to be good enough to hold all this up. So we're going to double click the bottom. So double click the bottom, and now we're going to hit M on your keyboard for move. Click M. Where the heck dang it, It's way down here. So if you don't see it on your screen, you're looking for this little McJobber right here. What we're going to do with that, the further zoomed in you are, the more detailed your move will be. So if yours is way down here like mine, zoomed out, it's going to move it in big increments. But we can just click the arrow up, drag it up, and see it moves in 5 millimeter increments. We're only going to change that to 3. So type in 3 millimeters on the Y distance. Once you have the 3 millimeters in the Y distance, we can click OK. And now you have now you can start seeing what your stand is going to look like. Now we can start putting a little more detail in it. We don't want it to stand on these 2 points. It'll be a lot more likely to tip over like that. So what we're going to do now is draw another line. We'll hit L on the keyboard, click on the bottom of this arc, and then come across, click on the bottom of this arc, hit escape to get out of the line. And now we can do trim again. Hit T for trim. Remember, T for trim, L for line, O for offset, P for project, M for move. Those are the most common. I know I just said a lot of things real quick, but I use those every single day. So we're going to click T for trim. We're going to clean this up. Click, click. We don't need this inner area right here, so we'll trim that off. We'll trim this off, trim that off. And we also don't need these 2 bows right here, these 2 arcs. Trim, trim. Now you have one solid stand. So now we're starting to look a lot better. So what you also need on your stand, is there a hotkey for construction line? Yes, there is. It's X. So if you want to make it a construction line, you can do your construction line. You see how this is sealed on both ends? If you turn this into a construction line, it basically turns it into an invisible line. And you just hit X, and it's just there for reference purposes. Which I don't hardly ever use construction lines. I only use lines, for the most part, what I intend to use. So now what we can do is tilt it backwards a little bit, because whenever we projected the front edge on here, what we didn't do was project the USB hole. And we needed to do that early on, but you can still do it whenever. So we're going to tilt it backwards a little bit. And how you tilt it backwards is hold the shift key and hold your center mouse button, the wheel, and then you can move it around. If your center mouse button starts acting weird, you can come up here to let me get rid of my camera. On the top right, there's this cube right here. This cube, you can drag it around and move your screen. So you want to tilt it back. Tilt it back. And now we're going to project this face, your USB hole, right here. Project it, click OK. Now you can come back, hit the front of the cube up here. That way you have a good straightforward view on it. Now you have your 2, you can see this is where the hole is in your box. So now what we can do is click L for line, click the bottom of that purple line, come straight down. Same thing with the other side. Click it, come straight down, click it, hit escape, and now you have three sealed off pieces. And now we are good for the stand. And that's all we need for the sketch. So now we can finish sketch. So now we have the sketch for how our stand is going to be made. So we're going to click one side of it and now hit E for extrude. And now we can click the center, and now we can click the other side. And you see how the arrow is pointing forwards. And that means that the face is wanting to go in this direction. So that means in order for us to make the stand go backwards underneath the circle, we're going to have to type in a negative number. So we're going to go negative 40. And negative 40 because that's how wide our light box is going to be with the back plate on it. So we'll go negative 40, come down to operation, and we're going to go new component. If you already hit enter, then no big deal. So new component, okay. If you hit new body, you're going to have a body folder up here on the top left. Just hit the little down arrow on the body folder, right click on your body. How to project the USB. 1 second. So if you accidentally created a new body instead of a component, you can open up your folder, right click on the body, and then do create component from body. So again, projecting the USB hole, tilt it backwards. Well, you're going to have to go back into edit sketch. So edit sketch, tilt it backwards, hit P for project, click on that back face on your USB hole. Why is it not letting me? You can flip it around and do it as well. Click on it, and that's your projection. It's going to project those purple lines onto the sketch. Okay. So now that we have our stand, everybody should have this stand looking pretty good. It's gray, not black. I don't really like the gray. So we're going to click A, which takes us to appearance. And then we have our different material selections. Let's just say I want a black stand to match. We're going to click the black color and drag it over to the component, to the component folder, not the component right here. If you drag it onto the component folder, everything you throw in that folder will automatically take those material settings. So now we have a black stand. We can rename this component, click on it 2 times. We can title it stand. Okay. So now one more thing that we need to do to complete the stand. See, there's no hole in the bottom, but there is a hole in the bottom of the circle. This is obviously going to be a problem. So, like I said earlier, you need a slot for the USB cable to feed through, which is what this slot right here is. Show you how to make that right meow. Oh, let me turn off my camera so you can see the cube. Let's flip it around, get back reorientated to the front, reoriented to the front. My sketch 7 is the turn that on. Your sketch for the stand. You want that turned on. What you're going to do now, click your USB area, your USB hole. Click it. Now we're going to click E for extrude. Now we're going to turn it around. Hold shift and hold middle mouse button, or click and drag your cube. Either way works. So now what we want to do, we're going to, on the start, we're going to go start from object. The way that Fusion works is, if you think about it, where do you want to start from? Do you want to start from a profile plane, which is where it's at right now? Do you want to start from an offset? Like, do you want to start with a negative number, or do you want to start from an object? We want to start from an object because that's just the easiest way to do this. So we're going to start from an object, click that, And now it's going to ask you, what object do you want to start from? We're going to start from the back of the stand. So click the back of the stand, and then that's going to be your starting point for the hole. So now we're going to say extent type. You can either make it move a distance. If you know the distance from the back to the front of the hole, you can type that in. That's more work, more brain power. Or you can do object. We're going to go to object. And now it's asking us, what object do you want to go to? We want to go all the way to the front of the hole. So we're going to click the front of the hole. And now you can see that cut is going all the way to the front of that hole. And now from there, you just make sure it says cut, which it'll have everything highlighted red right here if it is cut. And then you click OK. And now we have a completed stand. I know this may not look very strong, but I assure you this is going to be a very strong stand, and it will hold way more weight than what is needed on this. So now we can go ahead and turn off sketch, your sketch for the stand. I'll click on the front just to get better oriented with the front, and now we have a completed stand. And now you can right click the stand, save as mesh, and then export it. There you go. And then you can name it stand, circle stand, however you want to name it. If you make different types of stands, you know the deal. So we're going to export that to the folder where you saved it last time. Stand, save, save. Okay, so now we are done with the stand. Open up your slicer. I did not save this last time, so I have a template made up for all of mine since I make so many. I'm going to click on the plate that I want the stand to go to. You can't see the right side of my screen. Let's see. Oh, still can't see that. Anyways, all you need to do, you have the slicer open, add object, go find your stand. Right here, you have the stand, open, and now you have it in your slicer. Now you need to color it accordingly. Go over to objects, find your stand, whatever print profile you want to assign to the stand. And then also, since you have a little bridging here, which is no big deal, but the top is actually the face, the face that will be pointing out towards you. So on a textured build plate, it's going to look way better if you print it face down. So we're actually going to take this, click lay on face, click on the face, and print it face down, because I print them on textured bed sheets and they look way better. And then from there you can slice it, print it, and now you have a stand. And I'll show you why they look way better. This is the front of the stand on a it would focus. This is actually printed on a carbon fiber sheet, and you can see if it would focus, it has the, there it goes, carbon fiber texture on the front. So you want that to be visible on the front. You want that face down on the bed. And that'll do it for the making a custom stand. You don't have to do them like a circle like we did. You can make it any shape you want. Just utilize the same procedure we did with the projecting your model onto your stand sketch and then draw anywhere you want with it. And that should conclude our custom Lightbox stand episode, and I will see y'all in the application hangout here in just a moment. So brief interruption. If you could go to Shurdle.com/links and purchase any of your items such as Bambu Lab printers, filament, LED string lights you might use for the light boxes, Polymaker filament, my affiliate link here, Vectorizer AI. It is no longer free. You can use this to use my affiliate link. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.